Hey there, entrepreneur. This is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. Welcome to this special presentation entitled How and Why Every Savvy Small Business Owner and or Service Provider, so that definitely means you, ladies and gentlemen, should be using some form of high-powered, low-cost email marketing. That's correct. Otherwise, entrepreneur, you are leaving a ton of potential long-term profits on the table, and that's not good. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. The purpose of this video is to impress upon you the enormous long-term profit potential, entrepreneur, that's available to you and your business via some form of low-cost, high-powered email marketing, especially if your business product or service is just a little bit cash starved, like a lot of people find themselves these days. Now, here's the point. Ladies and gentlemen, suppose your business is currently located in an extremely popular mini strip mall of some kind in your town. And you've seen these, right? And let's say there's currently a total of 5 or 7 businesses and or services that are located in this strip mall. And none of them, here's a key, are in direct competition with you per se. Like, for example, let's suppose you have a small mom and pop hardware store. So you need customers for a certain thing. And the next little small business is a little small furniture retailer. Now you both need the same customer, but you're not directly competing with each other. So that's the key. So what you're going to do is simply approach some of these other business owners and or service providers, and hopefully you've already have some form of rapport built with them. If not, you need to start shopping at their store so you can get on a first name basis with them, and till you're comfortable enough with them that you can approach them about asking if they'd like to know how they can get some additional free foot traffic without necessarily having to pay for it with cash. That ought to get their interest. So here's the point. What you're trying to do is figure out an inexpensive way to consistently get men and women, consumers, back to the strip mall. And here's one way we're going to do it. We're going to use strategic email marketing. Now, what you're going to do inside of your business is start holding a weekly and or monthly free drawing of some kind. This way you're continuously building an all-important opt-in email list. And here's what you're going to do with that. You're going to approach the other vendors in the strip mall, and here's what you're going to suggest. You're going to offer to send an email to your list every time they're having a sales event. So in other words, they don't just have to rely on radio and television and newspaper, because that stuff is outrageously expensive and it's always going up. You've noticed that, right? This way here, your list will be made aware of this event, and as your list is growing, you're going to send this email out. And the way you're going to do it, I'll explain that in a way right now, because most of the time, just so you know, with a paid autoresponder service, you pre-write your messages out and then you upload them, and then when the person gets on your list, depending on what the length of time is in between each message, it could be 3 days, 5 days, a week, whatever, you send them out. Like some people that use newsletters, that's the way they send them out. That's not what we're talking about here, though, just so you know. And we'll cover that in just a second. But here's the thing you need to know. You want them to set up in their store a letterboard sign of some kind, either inside or outside their store, promoting one of the free giveaways to their customers by having them come to your website. And this is what we mean by a letterboard. You know, you've seen these kind of like display signs. Barbershops do this a lot. You either want them to set one of these up inside their store or outside of their store. So as their customers are coming and going, they see the sign, they see the web address, and that web address in reality is either a page to your blog or it's a special lead capture page. And by lead capture page, what we're saying is the only option on that page is they either subscribe or they leave. There's no header, there's no sidebars, there's no other distractions. And it might say something like the following. Attention valued customers, our friends over at www. whatever your web address is are giving away a free blah 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 an X dollar value, something like that, and you send them over to your website. So you're catching their foot traffic, and by the same token, when they're ready to do a sale, they simply send you an email message You type it up, in your autoresponder, and you do what's called a blog broadcast. And the way that simply works is this. Well, let me cover that in a second. Let me cover this first. If they do have a paid autoresponder service, like in my case, I use Aweber. Maybe they are using GetResponse or Infusionsoft for constant contact, eye contact. It doesn't matter. If they have email capability and they can send out a uh, broad, a broadcast email, then you want to do what's called an email swap. What's that, Mark? It just means you add their email message and their link to one of your broadcast email messages, and they do the same for you. Now, this term broadcast email, just so you know, basically what that means is this. It's a message that you write up, and then you can decide to send it whenever you want. You can send it right then and there. You can schedule it for a week, 2 weeks, whatever you decide. But it doesn't matter how many pre-written email messages you have or don't have. It's almost like sending an instant message, a text, if you will. The point is, this will go out. You schedule it when you want to go out, and it'll go out along with any pre-written messages you already have. And that's the beauty of having a state-of-the-art, paid, upscale autoresponder service, like in my case, Aweber or the other ones I previously mentioned. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a perfect strategy for any business that doesn't like to write pre-written sequential email marketing messages. And if you got other companies around, a friend of mine who's in the industry, by the way, he does, they build websites and they do web hosting. He explained to me recently that a staggering 40 to 60% of his customers who have paid email services providers, other than the welcome message, they've never sent an email to their list. So the point is, you can get with these companies and just start doing these email swaps. You can show them how to write the emails. In fact, a strategy, a sort of a side strategy would be you start putting on free classes for these other businesses that are non-compete. And then at the end of the class, you say, now who would like us to send a message to our list about your sales event? And a hand should go up. And you say, okay, all you need to do is either put that sign out there, the board, or if they have an email but they haven't written them, just do a broadcast. And this is a great way for you to start leveraging yourself. And I hope you can see that. So ladies and gentlemen, on that note, for those of you who want to discover how you can add an additional 25% more gross profit to your bottom line, entrepreneur, if you want to do so in the next 90 days or less without having to add any new customers or clients, then ladies and gentlemen, it's highly recommended that you grab that free 9-page special report. Just head over to youcanmarketonlinenow.com/sales, because that's where you can get it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I got a question for you. Who else do you know in business right now who's struggling, who could definitely use some help? Do they respect your opinion? Because if they do, and only do, and I mean only if they do, I want you to forward this video to them ASAP, because they will thank you for it later. On the other hand, if you're wondering, Mark, what do I need to do specifically with my business product or service if I'd like to get to the next level? Well, I'm glad you asked. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to highly recommend you grab your free 22-part Small Business Marketing Mastery Series. And here's why. This is an additional free 22-part sequential email marketing series that you're going to receive on top of your free 9-page special report. That's correct. It's my free gift to you. It's my way of saying thank you for subscribing and welcome to the inner circle. It's a $97 value. But here's the best part. Ladies and gentlemen, if after you subscribe to the inner circle, and if after you go through the free 9-page special report, if for whatever reason you decide neither one of them are for you, then by all means, please feel free to unsubscribe anytime you wish. That's correct. For whatever reason you wish. And we can still be friends. Fair enough? This is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. Entrepreneur, will see you again next time on the Marketing Minute.